Good morning. Today is March 3rd, 2025. This is a meeting of the Downtown Estacada calling to order at 9 a.m. Welcome.
Let's do roll call.
Sure.
Okay. Hannah Smith,
Here.
Julie Cooper,
Here.
Connie Redmond,
Here.
Heather Randall is not here or online. Julie Colton, also not here. Sherry Fox Hames,
Here.
John Eisenberger,
Here.
and Corbin.
Here.
Fantastic.
Morning, Julie Cooper online.
Good morning, you all.
All right, so we've called the meeting to order. Do we have public comment? Anything online? No.
There is no one with their hand raised.
Okay, all right. Well, then we'll move forward. Review and adopt minutes for the February meeting. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we adopt the February 3rd minutes as written.
Do we have a second?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Content for the March newspaper, social media posts and newsletter. Ms. Hannah?
Just continue to try and get some information, if anything, for the Founder's Day to try and promote that. I haven't been able to get in contact or a response from Bev, I think. I can reach out again. Other than that, we got Uncorked in May, which we don't have much information, but I can reach out to Heather to get more.
Okay.
You know, we have the date. And that's about it.
Awesome.
4th of July and events.
I kind of like to start putting the bug in people's ear about the parade because it is the 120th. I'll talk about it later, but people that have old people that are still here that have been, I mean, there's some families that have been here for generations. So just want to kind of put a bug in people's ear about celebrating 120 years.
And is that going to be the theme?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We haven't done a theme.
Hmm?
We haven't done a theme in a while, right?
No, we didn't have one last year.
Yeah,
You know,
because
some-
4th
it
of
just
July is the
seems-
theme.
Yeah, doesn't seem to
Yeah.
make any difference. People do what they want to do. So,
Yeah.
yeah, 120 years of Estacada.
Mhm.
So,
Right. And then we have that logo coming out that we've all voted on and bunch of
yeah. So there's some good stuff coming up.
Mhm.
And that's a great segue into Noble Consulting.
All right.
If they want to come up and introduce themselves and they can chat.
Hello.
With the microphone. I guess, nice move.
Also, Heather joined us online.
Okay.
Nice. Morning, Heather.
Morning, Heather.
Good morning. I intended on being in person, but I got a sick kiddo home. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's
I
going
know.
around.
Hey, it's the last one, so I'm glad she's getting it out of the way now.
Yay.
Well, hello. We just wanted to stop by. We know that, with spring and summer coming, you guys have a lot of activities and events that you guys are planning. And honestly, we just kind of wanted to come in and see what we can do to help promote those. I know that Uncorked is coming up, and that's kind of a big weekend because there's some other events going on in Estacada, like the Northwest Championship for disc golf.
Yep.
And I know there's a couple other things. And so we just wanted to kind of find out what you guys are planning and see how we can amplify that and help you guys get the word out, especially kind of outside of Estacada, and see just what else is going on and what we can do to help. So really, that's it. Nothing to a report, just kind of here to learn from you guys what we can do to help.
We did have an opportunity to sit through a Zoom meeting with Jesse with the Beaver State Fling, which is the disc golf, to learn a little bit more of what's going on there and how maybe to collaborate, especially with the same week. I mean, if you live in this area and you're not hanging out in Estacada that week, right? What do you got going on? So we're just here, exactly what Mackenzie said. Yeah.
Just one question that I know that the city staff has reached out to you guys on possibility of doing the 120 logo for Estacada 120. Have you guys made any progress on that or?
So we delivered a couple concepts and I don't know, Elaine,
Yeah.
how you guys are with your.
So I don't know if Evelyn didn't include the council liaison, she just included all the committee members, but we sent it out to the committees to
Oh.
vote on. And they did pick the first one, which is
Okay.
kind of a
I did not get that.
hexagonal.
I think we got it last week.
Yeah, so.
Okay,
you
sorry.
will- Nope, you will
Yeah.
see it soon. How's that? I will
Okay.
send it out on the Friday email to council.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. And I just like to see that anything that Estacada's, anything that's involved in Estacada, for this year. I'd like to see that logo attached to anything and everything. And then, and then moving forward, we'd just like to, use the logo, maybe, if it needs to be changed a little bit, tweaked, but just change the year every 5 years and
Yeah.
that'd be something really cool to see.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
I guess I'd like to,
Pull it up.
did I step on somebody's toes?
No.
I'm sorry. I guess I'd like to see, for the events that you publicize, that somehow we let people know that there's great restaurants downtown, coffee shops. I don't know, years ago, we would put flyers up at MacGyver, listing restaurants and stuff. So just need to bring people in.
Definitely. And I know one of the things that they're doing this year, and this group may be a good group to ask this question to, is they have, I think they do parking out at Bent Shovel, and then they have shuttle buses up from Mount Hood. I don't know if it's Timberline, but somewhere up there that they bring people back and forth because there's not enough parking at the park. And they're actually looking for another location that might be closer to Estacada. So if you guys know of anywhere, I mean, if we can get people to park like in Estacada somewhere, then they're
Right.
more likely to shop and dine and all those things. So if you guys know of anywhere, and then next year they are hosting the World Championships,
Right.
which will be an even larger event, and they will need like more parking and there will be kind of more fanfare. So just you guys are obviously the people who have the pulse on like where would be a good place. I think they mentioned a couple hundred parking spots, and
Mhm.
so I don't know if there's anything in downtown Estacada that has anywhere near that, but if you guys think of anything, let us know and we're happy to share that with them. I know that they're happy to pay for that. They provide all the shuttle buses and everything, so it might be a great opportunity to bring people into Estacada and send them instead of sending them out to.
There's a rather large lot right across the street between, between this shopping mall and the next one. It's a pretty large lot that could probably support, 100 or more parking spots. So it just a
That's
big
for the
empty
beaver
lot.
fling?
that?
Is that for the beaver fling? Yeah.
Well, and one of the things we're gonna have next year that they're building towards is one of those play, where the pros play, right? And where they
Mm,
set
yeah,
up
yeah,
the
yeah.
course for
Amateur
that
pro.
professional competition. And what's fun a lot of times for folks that are really into the sport is to go out and be able to play the course under those conditions the week before. And the idea is, so as folks come in to do that, they're gonna need to eat, right? They're gonna need to shop, they're gonna need things to do. Maybe not everybody in their party is gonna be with them playing. So what are those folks doing while they're out on the course playing? So finding all those opportunities. Wow.
A place you can reach out to for parking is also the schools. I can
Yeah.
give you name and number of who to talk to just to get it on their calendar, use their parking spaces.
Yeah, we thought about that. This year it's on Thursday and Friday,
Oh,
but I think. Yeah, so I don't know if that would work, but I know the Estacada schools don't generally have school on Friday. So that was one of my ideas. So yeah, if you could provide us that info, we could at least call and check with them
Yeah,
and see if
yeah,
that might be possible.
yeah.
That'd be awesome.
and also I'd just like to remind you that the chamber is available and wants to, get involved in this.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah, and the other thing we were thinking is, so, they're gonna have their event here on Thursday and Friday. And so we were trying to think of how can we, at the event, promote and encourage people to come back to Uncorked the next day. So open to ideas there, but if you guys have thoughts, or if you guys happen to print up some kind of flyer, and maybe we just have some extra ones there, or I don't know what makes the most sense, but just something to think about is it might be a great way to be like, hey, come back tomorrow for this fun
I
event.
mean, a perfect example is we just went to the Portland Seafood and Wine Festival or the weekend at the Expo Center, and just adjacent, they had the golf show going.
Yeah.
And so they were able to cross promote, and you had some folks going back and forth. So the idea being, let's do everything.
Do they, when they participate, do they have like some type of bib that they wear or anything like they could turn that into time travelers and
Mhm.
get like 25% off or something like that?
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure about the players, but I know that you have to purchase tickets. And I don't remember if they're like e-tickets or something like that, but maybe it's something like show your ticket
Right.
at businesses around town, and we give them some sort of flyer to denote that, and you get 10% off or a deal
Right.
or whatever that is. But yeah, I think that could be a great idea.
Or maybe even a stub off of the ticket, like a tear off ticket.
Right, just something to show that, some type of discount to the Uncorked event to get them to come back on that Saturday.
And what is this? It's Beaver Fest? Is that what it was called?
So it's called the Beaver State Fling, but they're also combining it with the Northwest Disc Golf Championships.
So they need more than one course, right? Because they got everybody coming out. So they have out here at McIver Court, but then they also have, I think it's like Glendeville. And so this is the first year they're going to be utilizing both courses. It's kind of a practice run for the big one coming up. So to that note, you're going to have folks that are going back and forth to both communities, and who's here on Thursday may be a different audience that's here on Friday, which I actually think is a good thing. It gives you a second bite out of the apple.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
And the parking, we don't need parking this year necessarily, or
They-
we're kind of looking for,
They're using bench shovel this year as of right
Mm.
now, but they did say that they were open if there was something that was
Sure.
closer or more convenient, or if they do need like an overflow, that they would be interested this year.
Mhm.
I think they're also just trying to find something this year that they can then use
Sure.
again next year as well. So like I said, we're happy to make that connection if anybody has any ideas.
Would the churches work for parking? Cause if it's on a Thursday, Friday, we have like, I don't know how many churches, but they all have
Yeah.
a bunch of parking.
Grace is pretty big. Yeah.
Yep, and the library after hours.
Mhm.
Library's got
Yeah.
some great space after hours.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good idea.
But I would assume since, I would assume this is during the day though, right?
I believe it is. I don't know the exact hours, but obviously it has to be during.
Right.
It's mostly 9, 10 a.m.
Yeah.
probably 5, 6.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
6:30.
Yes. So,
Yeah, and we also have vendor booths available
Oh.
down in the park. So if that's something that we think is worth promoting to the chamber, I don't have any of that information at the moment. We can definitely get it to the chamber. But if businesses want to go down and sort of a booth or anything like that, they have that available too.
And so you don't have any information as like what the cost of,
They did not have that available. But
Okay.
I can pull that up and then share that with the chamber.
that would be awesome.
what are the dates of that again?
Should be the 25th and the 26th,
Oh,
because we are Uncorked is the 27th,
Oh.
so it should be the 25th and 26th of May.
As I say, is that weekend right after.
thank you.
What's the name of the First Baptist Church now?
Grace
Grace.
Crossing.
Grace Crossing. Brent Dodrell is the pastor at Grace
Grace
Crossing.
Crossing.
He would be a good person to contact. They've got a large,
Yeah,
extremely large parking lot.
I've got their number. I'll give that to you.
First Baptist.
So, and if there's anything else we can do to help promote Uncorked, I'm happy to do that. If there's any other events that you guys have. Yeah, and any
Yeah, all
events
of them.
coming up, please feel free to reach out to us and.
Yeah, so as far as dates go, we've got Uncorked, obviously, May 27th, and then the 4th of July parade, which will be
The 4th of July.
the 4th of July. But then we'll be promoting the 120th
Yeah.
year of Estacada, and then Oktoberfest, which will be September 27th. And then
It's,
The-
the application says September. Oh, that's last year.
Uncorked is actually on the 31st of May.
oh, I thought we were doing it. I thought we said Tuesday 27th.
No. I have
Well,
the
it's
30th.
Saturday,
Oh.
it's May, it's a Saturday. 27th is a Tuesday. Maybe just looked at the wrong year, maybe. So the fling
was wrong.
is Fling
So
is
then the fling
29th,
would be the
30th.
29th and the 30th.
And then, so, yeah, Oktoberfest 7th, September 27th.
Yep.
And then the Christmas tree lighting is the first Friday,
The
which is
first Friday
December
of
5th.
December.
5th. Wow.
And the Fungus Festival.
Huh?
Sorry.
Oh, fungus.
So that's what we've got going
Yeah.
as far as dates
4.
go.
Do we know if they're doing the Lavender Festival this year?
Connie, do you know?
Oh, I'm
about
sorry,
the
what?
Lavender Festival?
Fungus Festival?
Lavender Festival?
We could not talk.
Don't know anything about that. I thought the people that had the lavender farm retired or sold it. It was a big thing for a number of years.
Yeah, okay, just an idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Oh,
All right, so moving on to the annual plan and budget. Did everybody get an opportunity to review, and did you have any questions or concerns?
oh, wait a minute. Hang on a minute.
The first thing I would like to address is the DEC promotions and marketing. So it says $6,000 there. And then it looks like we have underutilized that $6,000 immensely as far as, unless that is part of monies that are being used for the events. Am I wrong on that, Elena?
I don't think that was for the events. I think that was the $6,000 was for your door hangers. No. For the promotion and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For, it was supposed to be for like, door hangers. You had talked last year in your plan about having some money for ads in the newspaper and those
Which
kind of
we
things. Which you-
Decided to.
Yeah.
So is it possible to use some of that money for other purchases? Or does it have to be for,
Depends on what it is.
um,
Oh, yeah. So, it has to fit within things you've already put in your program. So you're talking for this year, right? Yeah, it has to be within things you've already put in your program plan. And so you have events already in your program plan. So using it for like the cones or barricades or whatever it is that you're wanting to order, you could use that.
okay,
Yeah, even though it might put you over in, say, Oktoberfest or 4th of July, because it all balances out. And
Okay.
yeah. But I know you were putting some of that money towards Uncorked for this year.
Right.
So,
right. So I really would like to take about, I would like to see us use a little over $1,000 to purchase some barricades and some
They have those.
batons.
You got a gift
Oh, I did?
of batons. Someone from the Civics Academy, after listening to you, ordered them and delivered them here to City Hall.
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh.
sweet.
Yep.
The blessing.
Okay, I want to buy some barricades then.
Well, and I did talk to Don. I was down at the shop the other day and they have the smaller ones, the barricades. They have a lot of those. And Don said, let him know how many more. So I'll take account on how many we need. I like the smaller size just because they're easier for one person to handle. I think the bigger side, maybe we can use those downtown here. But as far as at the intersection, use the smaller ones.
Okay, because I wanted to order 16 of the A-frame barricades, the 6-foot A-frame barricades. And that's
That-
going to be about $800.
That would be a good number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, whoever bought the batons. I appreciate you.
I will send it out in an email because I know who it is, but I did not, it's split my brain this morning. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so sweet.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I won't get run over this year or almost get run over.
Yeah.
That's going to be amazing.
Mhm.
Thank you. Okay, so do I need to make a motion or can I even make a motion as the chair?
You can make a motion as
Okay.
the chair. Yeah.
I would like to make a motion to purchase 16 A-frame barricades, 6-foot I-beams. And I know that the city already has has an account through Uline.
Yeah.
Purchase them through Uline. It would be $782, but if we already have an account, you might already get a discount on there. So it'd be approximately $782. That's my motion.
I second wholeheartedly.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Yay.
Yay. Good, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving forward, did anybody have any questions? I know that we needed to add more porta potties for the 4th of July.
We're adding one more.
Okay,
Yeah. And the last meeting, didn't we talk about not doing door hangers?
we kind of, yeah.
Okay. It, again, you know, it's labor intensive. And I think, we get more out of, getting notices up around town
Flyer.
and social media.
In the businesses.
I still would like to see us do maybe
Do you want to
500 and put them around at different businesses on their countertops.
You want to do rack cards instead of
Rack
door
cards.
hangers? Okay.
Good
okay.
term.
Just curious, I don't know if it's possible, but are we able to put a little flyer in like the end of the school year packets that go home?
I think Elena was speaking to,
I don't know.
yeah, we had to be really careful as to what we can and cannot do with the school because they had rules and regulations that they needed to abide by. We were better off with the inserts with the water company and stuff like that. So I kind of took away from the conversation that we had last time that was not really a good option for us. Because their hands are, the high school
Yeah.
hands were kind of tied. But, you know, out of that conversation too, why don't we go to the churches? Why are we not putting flyers in the churches and stuff like that? I mean, I think
Well,
that,
There's places, the library,
yeah.
various places around town where you
Businesses,
just gotta get out there and ask them to. put
Post office.
Coffee shops.
Yeah, the post
office.
office, yeah,
Even though somebody keeps taking them down, you put them back up.
exactly. And I know you can put them in the post office. All you gotta do is just put them on their
Yeah.
board, because I've done that.
Mhm.
You don't even have to ask. You can just go in there and put it up.
I ask and they stamp it. That's just me.
Well, they told me I didn't even have to ask. They're like, whatever, go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah, there's plenty of places around town. So,
The library would be great. I mean, whoever runs their reader board,
oh yeah.
if we
yeah.
could get on their reader board, that'd be amazing.
Well, in the city reader board out here. I forget about that because it's not that obvious.
But I think the churches would be a great contact to make. Just if we had flyers, we could do something, what did you call those? Rack cards?
Rack cards.
we-
Rack cards.
Yeah, if we
Yeah.
had those, just kind of like similar like the door hangers and just had and then put
Yeah.
on there, volunteers needed,
Mhm.
email
Yeah.
us at bada.
Another good option a lot of people don't think of is table toppers.
Mhm.
If you can put those in restaurants, if they're willing, or doctor's offices, because you have a captive audience.
Oh, that's an excellent.
That's a really excellent idea.
I like that.
What size are those?
So generally a table topper is printed on like just a regular 8x10 and then they fold it into fourths
Oh,
and
okay,
and
okay.
overlapping. So there's 3 sides.
Okay.
If you don't want to do like a tall skinny one, there's different ways you can format.
Yeah, I
it.
like that.
Sure.
Yeah,
But if you
I
want to
like that.
hire, I don't remember who you hired to do your door hangers, they could also design your table toppers for you too. Hmm?
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
get records and table.
She's no longer in town, but I think she's still doing business.
Table toppers and records. Okay. Awesome. Anything else? How's your budget looking for Uncorked, Heather?
Apologies, I muted and then I was on a different screen. Well, it is looking. I mean, honestly, I don't have a whole budget put together yet. So I think it's gonna be once I figure out what Connie has left over, I need to inventory some stuff.
I think the 37 is a really good figure. You know, your big cost, again, it's gonna be toilets. We have the cups, we have the tokens, we have bags. You know, you're gonna be getting Monday from vendors. Depending on what you want to do for music, your big cost is gonna be porta potties and entertainment.
Yeah, and we did talk a little, just me and the 2 wine bar owners. We talked a little bit about the music and maybe having like something smaller, not a stage put up, but like hiring to have speakers put down the road and play music, or have that the similar as the tree lighting, like a small tin bin or something like that. Maybe more than having like a big stage and multiple bands coming through.
Yeah, just for the first year, just to kind of.
Yeah, see how it feels, see what kind of crowd we get out, see if we want to have bands.
I would suggest reaching out to Michael Anderley. He would be a great person to,
He did the
Uh,
tree lighting, right?
yeah, he would be a great person to get involved for, you know, small band music and even the speakers. He does audio, so.
Who has his
That's it.
contact information?
The city has it. He's a member of 2 commissions, so the city will have his
Talk
contact.
to him
info.
about Oktoberfest.
Yep. Yeah, he did the tree lighting.
Yeah, that's exactly who we were planning to reach out to.
Oh,
He
awesome.
was, yeah, yep.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, so other than that, and then another thing that we were talking about was the logo. Probably just, I think you guys kept it so that you could use it year over year. It didn't have any years on it, if I remember correctly.
20.
No
Are-
year on the logo?
I don't think it did.
For Uncorked. on, like,
Yeah, it's on every, in fact,
glasses.
Mary Whitney called me. She wants to, you know, we've got the band, we got the light hanging
Right.
things. I'm sure Mary has the logo. I don't
think we
think,
have the logo in the city files.
oh, do you?
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure we do.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend changing it because we've got it on so much stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have the year. It just, I
Oh,
think it's
yeah,
just
no, it
has
doesn't have the
Uncorked.
year. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Been distracted, sorry.
Mhm.
Awesome. Any other concerns?
I did have one more question. Can you remind me how many vendors can typically fit if we were to do the same kind of street plan as Oktoberfest, 28, 26, 20?
Well, yeah, 20, I think it was 26 was the max. But you need to, I have a layout you can look at, you know, to see what you
Yeah.
want, but you need to make that decision, and then on your application, put a deadline, first come, first serve, because you'll start getting more than you have room for. So, yeah, I can bring that when we have a meeting, and you can see how many you can have.
Perfect.
But not all those will be paying also. You might have some nonprofits or, you know, like
Sure, yeah.
majority will be paying though, so that's good.
I don't know if I already said this or not, but just to reiterate it, if I did, Lynn is helping with the food on this one as well.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, she was happy to do so. I think she's already really started getting the word out and letting people know applications coming out soon. So
Okay. So
job.
do you know when you want to shoot for having that vendor application out?
I was
the
hoping to talk, I don't remember when Evelyn is coming back, but I was hoping actually to talk to her this week and have it active here in the next week.
She's not out. She's not in this week.
So yeah, maybe next week, end of next week. I don't want to put anything on her plate and make it feel rushed, but
Yeah.
I would,
I mean, I think you have the uncorked in your packet, right? The application.
Well, it's the Oktoberfest one.
Okay.
It's
So-
just, I think it was put in there just to review it, to,
Review it
to change it to.
change it to uncorked. And if there's not significant changes, then I could make the changes. If you need like significant reformatting, that's gonna take a little bit more. But yeah, if you're just like, hey, we want to change the date, the logo and everything else looks good, you know, then we're fine.
It's nothing big, but one thing that struck out to me is the line after, do you need electrical, yes or no? And then at the end of that, it says first come basis for spaces. Are the spaces first come, or are we assigning them, or is that just for the electrical spaces? It just seemed kind of.
Well,
confusing to me.
for electrical, there's only so many units or so many spaces that will have easy access. And Heather, Elena, we need to talk about the application, because one of the things that was decided for the fourth, for the first year, is everything's going to can be paid online. We want to do that for Uncorked also.
oh, that would be excellent.
Yeah, so John, to answer your question, not every tree has a working outlet.
It just seemed, I was just worried someone might come up first come basis for spaces. And that's.
So-
Yes.
Change it
Well,
to
for both, yeah.
assigned on a first come basis.
Something.
Okay.
just Could lead someone down to believe.
Yeah.
Are you gonna run that same time, Heather, 11 to 7, or are you gonna,
I think we were thinking more 11 to 6.
okay,
Yep. Sorry, I changed my mind. It was 11 to 7. We were trying to think about what a workday looks like, and it was 8 hours with a lunch break kind of thing. So yes, keep the hours the same.
so other than what John had suggested in the wording on this, you're okay as far as everything else?
Yep.
So you need to pick a deadline. So right here, the applications must be received by September 16th, which is, without looking at my calendar, I'm guessing about 2 weeks.
2 weeks before.
2 weeks.
So do you want 2 weeks before?
So that would be May 16th would be
Yeah.
the Friday before the 31st.
And I remember when we were doing this, we were having trouble getting people to send us their, did we require their OLCC, Connie? Do you remember? And then we're having trouble getting people to send it to us. I'm just wondering if we need a little extra time.
So I'll apply for the OLCC stuff. The same way that we did Oktoberfest for this one.
Uh-huh.
And when you do that, the vendor is responsible for taking care of their own OLCC, but we'll have it like as the DEC.
Yeah, when we did Uncorked last, we required the vendors to send us proof.
Oh, and so then you need, sorry, I see what you're saying. You need more time for the vendors.
Yeah,
Did you do the same thing for Oktoberfest?
I didn't take care of the alcohol for Oktoberfest. That was all you, so.
if you're not requiring it, then that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know.
We didn't do it for Oktoberfest.
If you didn't do it
No,
for
we-
Oktoberfest, I mean, my assumption would be any vendor, that's gonna be their liability if they
Yeah.
don't have their correct
That's-
OLCC permits.
Yes, that's it. I think that's how it was done. I didn't see any of the vendor information for it though, LCC, but I know that we covered the event and the space that people could drink alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So as the event, as Oktoberfest. It would take work off of you guys. I mean, I wouldn't, like Wednesdays is not gonna come serve alcohol anywhere without the correct permitting. You'll get in big trouble. So
Yeah,
I think the businesses can kind of take care of themselves.
okay,
And that's on the form, insurance certificates are required.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody who's there serving has to have their cards on them. I mean, the rules are pretty cut and dry through the OLCC.
Mhm. And then when I'm looking at this form, it says for advertising to send images to Connie, and it is not gonna be Connie for this, so who are we sending these to?
For
Image-
Oktoberfest, I'll get everything done ahead of time and then John will take
Yeah.
over the day of the event.
Yeah, for Oktoberfest, but for Uncorked, if we're
Yeah,
just
no.
redoing.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
form.
for
Uncorked. So it's under advertising, and you are encouraged to promote the festival. Please email us a copy of your logo and photos to help promote your product and image, and it says to send to, and that's Connie's email. And Connie is not organizing this one, so somebody else needs to take on receiving those images for promotion.
Connie, what does that look like? As like, what do you do for Oktoberfest?
They
How
all
did you,
get
What does what look like?
how did you market those images when they came to you?
We really didn't have that many and quite frankly,
We didn't do
I
anything.
shined it on. You know, there was some, I think maybe we got 3 or 4 and I don't know if I gave them to Hannah or not, but it just was,
It just
beyond my
seemed
scope.
goofy to have a couple and post about some random vendors versus we just stuck to Oktoberfest. There's gonna be lots of vendors and come see what we have. So
Yeah.
I think that can probably be taken out.
So-
We shouldn't harp on that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it'd be a great idea just to remove everything after radio spots. So please email us a copy of your logo and photos, and everything after that, take it out. If you guys are.
You
okay
are
with it.
encouraged to promote the festival as
Yeah.
much as you can through your, yeah, perfect. And then take out the rest.
Yeah, okay.
One thing,
Because they can promote themselves if they want.
Yes, exactly.
Come see me at Oktoberfest.
one thing that the fire marshal's gonna get us for on Oktoberfest this coming year is vendors have to have all electrical cords covered, whether that's with a mat or tape or whatever. And you have to have a fire extinguisher.
Every vendor?
Well, if you have any kind of, fire cooking. Most of those folks know
Mm.
that, but having the tape covered up, that was another thing. And if they have a pop-up, every leg has to be weighted.
we discussed that at the last meeting, so
Yeah.
that should be already known.
Should we add that to the application just
Yep.
so that it's
I-
like a disclaimer?
Yeah. And if they don't have it, Sarah will probably ask them to leave or go get it covered or go get weights.
So that needs to be added to this then.
Yeah.
There's not an additional packet that goes out to them. This
Yeah.
needs to be added there.
I think usually Evelyn sends out kind of a packet that talks about, where to come for setup and what time to come and where
Mhm.
your booth is. But I think it'd be good to include it in here so
Yeah.
that they also have this information.
You see it first.
Yeah,
One of the things the city's gonna do for the 4th, they're gonna have a Q&A page on their website.
yeah,
And I think that's a good idea to have it for every event we have.
okay.
And it'll address those things like vendor parking and unloading and all the stuff that people need to know, but it's too much to put in the application.
Okay. That's definitely gonna have to wait until Evelyn gets back.
Okay.
But I did note that you want to include the information about electrical cords required to be covered. If you have pop-up tents, they must have weights, and if serving food, you must have a fire extinguisher.
Awesome.
Okay,
Okay,
Like a kitchen, right?
Yeah.
If you're serving cookies, you don't need an extinguisher. It's more like
if you're cooking food then,
If you're cooking,
okay.
Yeah.
not
yeah, there's
serving.
a
So the food cards that are gonna.
Propane and fruit,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, They should,
Yeah,
they should
bakery
know
does
that
need
by
it.
getting their insurance and their permits, but
Yeah.
Sarah will enforce it this year.
Good. Okay.
Okay, so just to be clear, follow up with Evelyn next Monday. Yep.
I will have these edits to the form and I can send them to you before the end of this week. And then you can follow up with Evelyn on Monday to see about her posting it. If she's back, we'll see how she's recovering.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Yep.
All right, any other questions about the annual plan and budget? Anything that you guys want to have added, deleted?
You mentioned the promotions on the beginning of it.
Mhm.
Can that promotions be used for that gift certificate at the end? I mean, if we want to give out gift certificates like at that golf event or at other things to come down and participate in our other events, would that be promoting it?
You can ish. Our auditor does not like us to buy gift certificates. He would prefer that you buy actual items.
Well, I was thinking like
Hmm.
buy like a gift card from the wine shop or from Time Travelers for lunch or dinner for.
Yeah, I
people
know.
or
He
whatever.
doesn't really like
Okay.
it. But you can use it on promotional items. So if you wanted to buy a bottle of wine from the wine shop, or yeah, if you wanted to buy, a t-shirt from Time Travelers or something, that would be totally cool. It's a little harder for us to use it for gift certificates.
So something,
Yes,
From one of those companies.
okay.
yeah.
So we could say we give it to you, but you have to go there and pick it up. Like, here's a gift certificate for a bottle of wine at the wine shop, and instead of delivering or a shirt, say. You can go. I'm just thinking of ways of bringing people into town from these other, events and stuff.
Right.
You're purchasing a physical, and could you put the microphone so that they can hear you? You're purchasing a physical item and you can ask them to go down to the wine bar to pick it up. If you're making that, have them like Heather hold it for you, then that would be one thing. But it wouldn't be a gift certificate. It's a
Mhm.
physical item.
That would be hard. I mean, I get what
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
yeah, that would be hard. We'll have to wonder that a little bit more and figure out how to do that. Anything else? All right, let's move on to the,
Before you move on, I want to make sure so that when because you guys need to approve this for your packet for
Oh.
submitting to council. So I want to make sure I have everything right, and then you're going to need to vote on it so that
Okay.
it goes into the next, for the April council. So I have changed in your work plan for next fiscal year. So for the 25-26, right? Yes, it's 25-26. Okay. Took out door hangers and added in rack cards and table toppers. Okay.
Yep.
And then you want to add in uncorked in events for the next year too?
yes, please.
Okay. Okay, and obviously, remove the line that says Oktoberfest and Harvest Fest combined, because
Mhm.
that's been done a couple years now.
Mhm.
Okay, so is that everything you want changed to your plan? Because you guys need to vote and approve it before we send it to council.
For the 4th of July porta potties, if you
Yes.
can increase that to,
Okay, that's in the budget?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to the budget
oh,
next.
okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
let's do the project plan first and then do the budget next.
Oh, we're doing that. Okay.
Yeah. So if everything else on the project plan looks good, then you just have to have a motion to approve and second.
I make a motion to approve the project plan of the additions and of rack cards, tabletops, Harvest Fest, Oktoberfest, and adding the addition of uncorked. Do we have a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, now the budget. So you're thinking potentially next year less for promotions and marketing?
Yes, please.
So what do you want to, it looks like you spent about $600 on door hangers, including the handing out. So maybe putting that towards rack cards and then another double that for table toppers. Okay, so instead of 6,000, having that be 1,200. Does that sound reasonable?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then more for porta potties. How much do you need for porta potties?
785.
Okay. We'll make that 800.
Also, another side note for the 4th is we're adding a cleaning fee to the animal equestrian area. So we'll have $10 per group to pay for a pooper scooper.
Nice.
We'll hear about that.
Yeah, I think the budget for the 4th of July definitely needs to be enhanced, just overall.
Was the porta potties gonna go up for the Oktoberfest too then, or are we just, it's a little lower than that at 670 for the.
It's probably still 2. One is a physically challenged one, one's a regular one, so 195, 195 plus.
Just same
every
thing,
cleaned,
tree
yeah.
lighting, we only have 300 for toilets. I don't know if we need more than that.
I did get some comments that it would be nice to have more for the tree lighting, more porta
Okay.
potties.
Okay.
Well, let's don't get off track. Let's stay with 4th of July so we
Okay.
can,
So right now for your expenses, if we increase the porta potties to $800,
Mhm.
it comes to about $920. But ribbons and signs and banners, are you gonna increase that too?
Signs and banners, I'd like to increase that because we're hoping to do better street closure information. So if we could bump that up to about 150.
Okay.
would this also be where we would add the
Yeah.
782
For
for
the
the barricades?
You're not buying them again next year,
Okay,
right? That's an expense that you guys are incurring in this fiscal year, and
Okay.
this is your plan for next
Gotcha.
fiscal year.
Okay.
So, yeah. Unless you think you're gonna have to buy more. Okay, hopefully you don't, they don't all get ran over and.
that's the plan.
Yeah,
Um,
great.
Just a suggestion, maybe budget for shirts for your volunteers. You know, something bright, something that stands out.
We have now found out that we have vests.
Yeah, I know, but just something for the volunteers that they can keep, you know, just an idea.
For the
something
4th or for,
for the 4th, you know, something that they can, you know, that's theirs. You know, just an idea,
okay.
participation.
the
I volunteered,
120th.
so I got this.
Do we make shirts otherwise?
Well, I like the idea, Jerry, but here's my problem with that. We're volunteers. Then you're looking at an expense, and t-shirts are not cheap.
I get it. It just went through my head, so.
And I mean, you know, we're all volunteers. We put forth our time
Yeah,
and all of us are busy.
I
You know, we
retract my
have
statement.
families. I
Yeah.
just, you know, this isn't a participation award.
Yeah, I know. I did,
Oh.
like I said, it just went through my head after I said it, and I retract.
Okay.
You might include though, since it is the 4th of July, refreshments. So water bottles, Gatorade, those kind of things would be nice to have for volunteers.
Yeah,
Okay.
granola bars,
Yeah,
like fruit chew, snacky things that,
we don't want people getting overheated,
yeah,
making sure they're
That-
staying well
that
hydrated.
I can get down with.
I mean, the volunteers can always go for the candy that they throw on the ground.
What, Corbin?
They can go for the candy.
Go
that
for the candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sugar boost.
Yeah, I make sure to tell the people all along the route and helping to you know, this is gonna be like 2 or 3 hours, bring whatever you need.
Mhm.
Because I tried doing the water one time and I was running around way too much.
No,
So,
no, it wouldn't be your responsibility to give it. We would just have an area.
Area.
Yeah.
And we would let the volunteers know,
Here's a
feel free.
cooler.
Cooler has water.
you know,
Yep.
we
Okay.
can, we
Yeah.
can buy those big packets of
Yeah.
potato chips, the variety pack, and we can have water and we can have the little fruit juice snacks and, whatever. But
Okay.
we're not gonna run around, give out stuff. No.
Are we getting signs? We usually have the banner, right?
We have the banner. We're gonna do a better job of getting signs up about street closures.
Mm-hmm. And then, so we already have banners and stuff. We're not gonna redo those, 'cause those will be,
do. Yeah.
it'll be fun to have the new logo on it, but that's probably a whole
I'll have
new,
to think about that.
that'd be a whole new banner.
Yeah.
Right? Thinking of ways to,
I don't think we have a street banner for the
Maybe.
4th.
Oh, we don't? like the long one.
I don't remember.
I don't know either.
I know we don't have any
Mhm.
light fixture hangers. I mean,
Oh.
everybody knows it's
Oh.
been going on for so long.
Yeah, I thought it was like Estacada celebration or something.
You know, it'd be
Maybe
good
not.
to have a banner, so, and then it says, sponsored by the City of Estacada, Downtown Estacada Commission.
So you want to budget for a big street banner?
That'd be about what, 300
I was thinking 4.
for, yeah.
I mean, you've already cut significantly your promotion and marketing budget, so.
Okay.
So what do you think? 2,500?
Hold on.
That's what I was.
We've upped the porta potties, but
Privacy contents have been updated.
Okay.
I'm so
Thank
glad.
you.
Sorry.
I think 2,500 would be more than enough.
Okay.
What I had right here comes to about 1,500. So if you put 2,500, that gives you plenty of wiggle room. If you decide that you want to spend a little more and get the little street banners.
Mhm.
So for expenses, 2,500 total.
Awesome.
And then for profit, you plan on bringing in about 2,000 in registration. It looks like here you had 1,830. But you're gonna add an extra $10 fee, so you'll be bringing in about 2,000, you think?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't be profit, it'd just be revenue. Okay. And then so are we good with 4th of July? I have your expense amount at 2,500 and your income amount at 2,000. Great. So Oktoberfest, you still want to bump up the porta potties?
For the budget on that changes, we won't need the OLCC permit. Bill is taking care of all that. Bill of Boring Brewing.
Uh-huh.
He's taking care of all the OLCC stuff.
Okay.
We won't need the school district for 100. That was for the stage rental. We won't need that.
Are you not having the stage?
We're gonna use flatbed trailers,
Okay,
right?
okay.
For Oktoberfest?
Yeah.
Mm.
We're working on getting those. We're hoping those people will donate those, but maybe we
Have
want to
we
leave
gotten
100.
anybody?
Hmm?
Have we gotten anybody? who
I don't
are
know.
willing? I know Heather, from the start you have, but I know we made
Yeah.
a post just to see if anybody else reached
Yeah, if You
out.
can continue posting that.
Mhm.
It'd be great.
Have we had anybody?
Not
you
to
know?
me.
No, okay.
Maybe leave the dollar amount in there because
Yeah.
we may need to
Yeah, give a
reimburse somebody
donation.
for something or retro back to the stage if we don't. Is the stage an option if we don't find a good alternative this year?
Well, I think it is, but it's just so hard to get it in there. I mean, the city guys do it. But we need to talk about that. It's a great
Mhm.
setup. All the
Yeah.
electricals there. It's got the side and the back so people won't fall off of it. And the city seems to be willing to put it in there and take it out. So,
Yeah, I
We-
think that would be a tough one to not have again, but that's just my take. To downgrade to a flatbed would be kind of silly.
Hmm.
I don't know, I feel like.
we
when
need
the
two.
looks-
We need two.
Huh?
Because a small regular flatbed would not be big enough. So we
Right.
would need two of them back to back.
It would take a fair amount of work to get two flatbeds together to make a safe one platform and a
Yeah,
grass
and
field
there's
to level it. It's
speakers
someone's
and-
gonna need some jacks and
I know,
rigging to
that
do
seems
that.
goofy.
So
but-
I need to know pretty soon if I should put a request in so is that a yes to go ahead and get the stage?
For
Okay.
$100, might as well.
Maybe next year is in the future, look at the options, because that stage is getting where it's gonna need major maintenance to move
Well,
around, so we need to look at.
And I know the musicians and the guy who does the sound likes the setup, so
Mhm.
that's a big thing. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
get that.
Right, yeah.
And then, the Amazon purchases,
That was miscellaneous.
Probably
Kid
for
stuff,
kid stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Booth stuff.
Good stuff gets.
I think that all looks pretty
what
good.
about the t-shirts? Are we
We
Yeah.
still have a bunch.
still looking at
We
1,500?
won't need, no, we won't need to buy any more. We'll have to go through and look at the sizes that we have.
Mhm.
So we might
It's a
need
lot
to
of-
buy some.
Bigger sizes, but I don't think 1,500 is necessary to
Yeah.
keep in there.
So can we reduce that by what?
I take it down to maybe 500.
Mhm.
Okay.
It sounds like with your ups and downs, that the total of expenses, about 7,500 would probably still be valid this year.
Okay.
Don't you think? Because you'll have increased expenses for porta potties, decreased expenses for the t-shirts. You think it'll be less, Connie? You're shaking your head.
What?
You're shaking your head.
No changes.
No
For-
changes.
For
Okay.
porta potties, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we got that.
So do you think 7,500 is still reasonable or?
The price is still the same as it was last year. I talked to him last week.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
if you want to pad it, round it up, I would be okay with that.
And are we getting more? I forget, for Oktoberfest, or are we getting this?
No, we had
The-
two, one this end, one at this end. The suggestion was to better signage for the one down here or else
Okay.
put it in a more obvious location. So we got one physically challenged one regular one, and I think we got a hand washing station also.
But we needed more for the 4th of July. Right?
4th of July, we just, we don't get a hand washing station, we just get 3
Mhm.
porta
Got
potties.
it.
I don't see any other changes. School district music department, what was that for?
Isn't that who we pay for the stage?
Okay, yeah, so what
Right.
was $100 for then? Yeah, the stage was $250.
Maybe-
School district might have been the volunteers, a sports
Oh,
team.
maybe it was, okay.
Yeah, I think the basketball team.
Okay,
came down.
okay,
Mhm,
okay.
helped
Yeah,
clean
'cause I
that.
know that we had a volunteer.
I know we
cost.
paid some sports kiddos, or teams to help.
So then
from
what
I
was the
remember.
750 for sound equipment?
Pardon?
What was the 750 for sound equipment?
That was a technician all day to run the sound,
Gotcha.
and it was worth it.
So
Well-
it sounds like in total, it's probably going to be less than the 7,500 that you requested last year. So are you thinking closer to 7,000 for expenses?
Yeah,
Okay.
Cause I want to talk to this, Mike guy about doing the sound and see what I mean, it's an all day thing, so they need to be paid.
Yeah. Yeah. for
Yeah.
sure.
For sure.
Okay, so then it looks like you brought in, for revenue, 2640. So let's just make that 2,700
Yep.
for estimating for next year.
Yep.
So we have the expenses at 7,000 and the, revenue of 2,700. Okay. And then let's move on to the tree lighting.
I think this can drastically be reduced because I know that we were using a
Yeah.
lot of this money for uncorked.
Yeah.
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 I don't want to take too much because I know that Julie has plans of building it bigger
Mhm.
and better.
So, but what if we cut it in half? So-
One thing that isn't on here though is all the hot chocolate and cookies.
Okay,
And I don't, the city bought that, but I don't know how much it was.
okay. So, but I doubt that's over $1,000.
Right.
Yeah, so if we put expensive for the tree lighting at 2,500 and
Yeah,
then you
that should be
keep the income at $200, it looks like you brought in
So
180.
the two things that I heard, the two issues that I heard from the tree lighting were porta potties and sound. People farther away from the event couldn't hear what was going on. So sound and then, maybe an additional porta potty would be, from the comments that I got from people around town.
Mhm.
Right.
I remember something similar.
Yeah, the sound for all the events, Oktoberfest, you can't hear people on the stage at all. Talking, announcing, pie eating and all that stuff. You can't hear it. Even sitting at the Chinese restaurant, you couldn't hear anything. So if we can get speakers down Broadway or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it looks like though, even with that, we're thinking that it'll be 2,500 in expenses and 200 in revenue.
200. How much are we charging people? How much did we charge for the vendors? Was it
For what?
100 for
For,
the Christmas tree lighting?
we did 100.
Or is it
right?
20?
Yeah,
It was the same.
yeah. I think that's what we said in the vendor for Oktoberfest. We wanted to make it consistent.
Okay.
So for Oktoberfest and
So
for,
do you think it's gonna be more than 200 then? Because right now I'm looking at what you brought in last year, which is $180.
Yeah, it couldn't have been 100.
So I can't imagine that was like 1.5 vendors.
Yeah, there's.
That's why I'm confused.
Yeah,
I'm confused on where but we had more than one vendor, didn't we?
Mhm.
Well, you don't charge for nonprofits, right?
yeah, there was some
So I'm wondering
nonprofits
if
there.
most of them were nonprofit,
Oh,
Yeah.
potentially?
interesting. I
do
know
th-
there was an esthetician, there was a bakery, there was, I don't know.
I do think that she was hoping to have more vendors next
Mhm.
year.
Mhm.
Okay. Do we want to increase this then from 200 to potentially 500
For profit.
for profit? Yeah, for your income for the tree lighting,
A goal.
the
Goal
goal?
to have
Yeah.
five
Yeah,
paid.
that would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
That'd be awesome. I think people really like that, so I think we'll get a lot more.
okay. And then for uncorked, now just to submit to the city budget, I don't need all of the line items like the face painting or the
Mhm.
porta potties. I just need, the expense and the potential revenue for the event. So do you feel like 3,700 is still what you want to list as an expense for next year? I know it's
If
gonna be
Con-
hard. 'cause-
I know, I was gonna say, if Connie thinks that that seems relevant, then I'm gonna go with what she says, because she does have more experience, number one in this, but number two also has budget for 2 other events. And it's the first year, so I'm
No,
curious.
this is for 25, 26. We're not talking about.
Yeah, I
Right
think
now.
we'll probably have plenty of glasses left over because there's like
We have
2,000
500
glasses.
upstairs.
There's 500?
500.
Okay, I was thinking there was more than that.
No.
It just seems like there's an endless supply of boxes full of glasses
Yeah,
upstairs.
500. We
Okay.
ordered them just before we canceled it.
Yeah, so then we have probably enough glasses for this year and next year. So next year you probably won't need to purchase glasses. You'll need the porta potties. You'll potentially, maybe after, if this year goes well, maybe have a stage next year. Think about that. Is that an expense you want to add in?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there, do you want to have bands? You want to pay for bands? But you'll also be bringing in more revenue because you'll have more
Yeah.
vendors than you would say for the tree lighting.
You know,
Right.
entertainment brings in people, so
Yep,
really need to look at that.
yeah.
Then I say, yeah, we maybe keep a budget there for it.
Yeah,
I-
so
I
let's,
put in 500. Well, let's see, we go 11 to 7, 11, 12.
Do
I
the
put-
bands, do we typically pay bands to come in or do bands pay to come in?
Oh, no, we pay them.
We
we
pay
pay the
them,
bands.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Okay.
don't pay, they don't
Yeah.
pay us.
Mhm.
And it depends on who you want. You know, Rob's
Mhm.
band is 1,000, but they bring in people
Mhm.
and we put them at the end. So, if you put at least 1,000 or 1,500 for music, that should be plenty.
Okay.
so you want to leave it at 3,700 for next year?
Yes.
Okay.
And now let's guess what kind of income you're gonna bring in.
Mhm.
Well,
Prob-
hopefully if we have all 26 vendors, we're looking at least 2,600
Yeah.
at a bare minimum. So I would say,
That's the non-
Only if some of them aren't nonprofit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you figure about 5, 6, 7 will probably be nonprofit.
So
It looks
20.
like- Yeah, it looks like you brought in 1,800 in vendors for Oktoberfest last year. And I think that's probably a reasonable
Mhm.
expectation for Uncorked next year.
okay.
Okay, and then you had $150 for gift certificates. What's that for?
That was for prizes for pie eating. And
Do we use them?
I think so. We gave them out after every age group. They
Yeah.
came up and got their gift certificate for Yo Treats and it's been prizes.
Okay.
Prizes for,
Yeah. For Uncorked or Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest
Yeah,
was
we
the
had
big one.
prizes
And then I
for
think
the
the
pie
Christmas
eating.
tree lighting, we got a few for the people who did the business bingo.
Mm.
So they've just been prizes,
Okay,
prizes
We
for,
had gift cards for Uncorked for pie eating.
okay.
but if,
And that
Or
wasn't included in your
trees.
Uncorked budget?
But
That wasn't included in the Uncorked budget?
Hmm.
Or Oktoberfest,
Oktoberfest.
sorry.
we're
Yes.
all sweet. She said,
Woo!
her words.
I kind of would have thought that would have been included in the Oktoberfest budget since it was expended during the.
the
event.
reason we didn't have any expense was because Sadie had gift cards that she needed
Okay.
to get rid of.
Mm,
So
Yeah,
nice.
okay.
But
So
if-
do you want to keep something here for like gifts or prizes? And you could put $150 and just maybe.
more than
you-
enough.
Yeah.
I'd say
okay.
that if we're
I'm gonna change it
shying
from
away
gift
from
certificates to
gift
prizes.
certificate,
Okay,
gift certificates.
so then let me go over this so you guys can vote on it. So I have for promotions and marketing, you have an expense of $1,200. And no income for that. For the 4th of July, I have an expense of $2,500 and an income of 2,000.
Mhm.
And then for Oktoberfest, I have an expense of 7,000 and an income of 2,700. For the tree lighting, I have an expense of 2,500 and an income of 500. And then for Uncorked, we have the same expense, 3,700, but an income of 1,800. And then for prizes, we have an expense of 150 and no income. And if that sounds right to all of you, then we would need a motion and second.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I make a motion to accept the budget as presented there.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
All those opposed? Motion passes. Great, thank you.
Okay, and then we had it's on your agenda, but wasn't included in your packet, the Oregon Main Street grant agreements, and I put those on the table. There's a couple of sections that are highlighted that we're still trying to work out. But I need the grant agreement approved by you guys so that you can sign it when we get those. So if you can tentatively approve it, I think there's nothing seriously major that is gonna change that. One of them is like, we need the timeline updated a little better. So there's nothing in it that should be majorly have any major implications with the legality of the contract, but I do need the contracts approved in order to include them in the Main Street grant, which is due April 1st. So it'll be before your next meeting.
So, Elena,
Yeah.
correct my wording.
Okay.
I make a motion that we accept the Main Street Revitalization Grant agreements as presented with minor changes to be determined.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we've already gone through uncourt.
Yeah, we
Yes.
did.
Commissioner comments?
I have a few, if I may.
Okay.
First thing, for the Grand Marshals for the parade, this is also Reliance Connect's 120th anniversary. I would like to consider asking them to be Grand Marshals. They've been with the city from the get-go. The contribution they've made to the city, just employment and volunteers and everything has just been great. So I would like permission from the board to go to Brooke and ask if they would like to be Grand Marshals. No opposed? Okay, good, thank you. Just real quick, because I know we're running late. I was on that call that we had a few weeks ago. I did take some notes. I just want to pass on some really good information. They did have one day was about volunteering, and there's a couple websites I want to check out. One is Just Serve. It's a volunteer website. Another one is, well, there's another one. I'll find it. And one of the phrases that came out of one of these sessions was face your fear and do it anyway. So I think that's great. I did take some notes on the youth participation, another really good session. And Corbin, does the school have a civics class?
Likely,
Pardon?
likely,
Okay.
yeah, I can reach out and ask. I would
Okay.
assume so.
Because one of the things, there was 3 people that gave that presentation, and one of the things they strongly suggested was connecting with the school, and a civics program will get those kids involved in doing civic type of things. And really, that's all I have. But it was a really good session for 2 days or 2 mornings. It was, you kind of look at the agenda and go, oh, but it was good.
So you enjoyed it. That's good. Yeah, just as a reminder, be looking at those Oregon Main Street programs. There's one coming up in Pendleton and there's another one coming up in Astoria. Look at those dates, see if you can attend either one or both of the days, get those over to Evelyn as soon as possible. Remember, we do need to have representation in person. And when we signed up to volunteer as this group, we did indicate that we would have people be at those events. So we don't want that to fall
I'm-
to one person all the time. So
Well, I'm retired.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can do Pendleton, but Astoria, the main topic is going to be on preservation. So if anybody,
I may
wants
be
to
able
watch
to make
one.
it to the Astoria one.
I was just gonna say the same.
Okay.
that would be great.
Yeah.
awesome. Just let, it was blast. And you don't need to be there both days. You can go for one day.
Tag team it. Yeah.
But they were a blast. They were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You meet a lot of interesting people and hear a lot of great talks and yeah, so
Okay.
but let Evelyn know because
Get
you'll
you
get
registered.
paid for your mileage and they'll pay the conference fees. So, and then if you do stay the night, they'll get the hotel reservation as well. So, sorry. Jerry, it's all yours.
What's going on with city?
Just everything going on with the DEIC. It's a hot topic issue. That's probably going to be the bulk of the next couple of meetings. We did vote to dissolve it, but it has to go through, they have to rewrite the city code and all that stuff. So there'll be a couple of more meetings that will probably revolve around that issue, but it's really what we concentrated on the last meeting, gave a huge amount of time to that committee. Just really want to work towards getting more volunteers, from our community. So, any ideas that we can put together to get, more volunteers from our community, that would be amazing. That's a huge goal of mine for this year because you guys need volunteers. Parks and Rec needs volunteers. Arts Commission needs volunteers. And we just don't seem to be getting enough of that. We need to be at the point where you guys aren't your own volunteers for your events, where you guys can concentrate on making the events better. And then we have the volunteers in place to man streets, to do that stuff to where you guys can concentrate on the event itself rather than holding a spot. So that's what we need. The city we just need to figure out a way to get our community more involved, bring them into volunteers to volunteer for our events. One thing that I'm going to look into myself, I know that there's a requirement for graduation that each student has to have so many volunteer hours. So I'm going to look at how that, like if there's a calendar of events that they look at and they sign up for certain things, I'm going to look at how that looks and see if that's the case, then I want to get all of our events on that list.
Corbin can go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if they have a need for graduation. I know that they have a need for National Honor Society. And it's the same with Summit, which is up in the school district. Except for Summit needs 50 hours, and I know that Estacada needs 20 hours of volunteer time. If you need to put those on newsletters, I can get you a contact.
Yeah, I just wanted to look and see what the process was, if they actually had a list where the kids go in and they say, I want to volunteer for this, I want to volunteer for this, I want to volunteer for this. Because if that is the case, then I want to make sure that our events get put on that docket, on that.
This question came up on the youth participation part of that call. And Oregon did away with the requirement that you have to have so many hours to
Okay.
graduate. Washington still has it, but that doesn't mean that it's not worded some other way within the school district but the state of Oregon did away with that requirement.
Okay, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
Washington State still has
When
it.
did that take effect?
This last year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still want to get, I still want to get the kids involved, because if you
Yep.
get the high school kids involved, then you're also getting their parents, and
the other-
that's the way you really build a good volunteer base. We shouldn't have to start with the kids, but that's a good way to get a volunteer base. I know when my kids volunteered for stuff, my wife and I were also volunteers at that point because we wanted to be involved in
there's
the community.
two websites that came up during that call, and I'm gonna check them out, because one is volunteermatch.com. So I know. Don't go there. Yeah.
Swipe
Yeah.
left, swipe right.
Yeah, just, you know, I'm gonna be, until it happens, I'm gonna be preaching about volunteerism, you know, because before, you know, what I remember with my kids growing up, I mean, we were never lacking for volunteers in the city. You know, we always had plenty of volunteers. So I just want to get, now with double the population, I think that we should, you know, easily be able to get back to
Yeah,
that point,
yeah, yeah.
but we're just not there. So.
And real fast, I know Heather has her hand up. For those websites, are those ideas that we upload our information
I
as a
haven't
city?
checked them out
Oh,
yet. Yeah.
Okay.
One is the volunteermatch.com and Just Serve
Okay.
as a volunteer site.
I can imagine I wonder if there's a cost too, to put your city and then
Yeah, I
events
don't
that
know.
you need people to come and help. I can imagine
Yeah.
it works like.
Well, after you have an opportunity to check that out,
Yeah.
let us know.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay,
Mhm.
anything else, Jerry?
Heather, oh, sorry.
Okay,
Heather's got her hand
Heather.
up, but. Shoot.
Heather,
Sorry, I took my hand off of raise and then I didn't turn on my volume. A couple things I've been pondering over like the last month-ish. That has come up and I'm like, oh, remember to say something, and then I either don't or whatever. Just to keep on our radar, I was driving to Sandy and noticed the McKinsey Farm sign. And it is oddly similar to the Christmas logo that is being presented or prepared. So I just say, like, maybe get that on our radar so that we don't start having conversations about it so late that we can't make a decision. But I would like to see us not be heavily correlated with a large Christmas tree farmer in town or around surrounding areas. I mean, they're like the same colors, the same general idea of a
For
logo.
the Christmas tree capital of the world, or
Ye-
PNW.
Yes, yeah,
That we voted on, that we got from Noble.
yes.
Got it. Okay.
I didn't know if we were still planning to make changes or alterations. It was part of the conversation, but I saw it and I was like, ooh, just noted.
For sure.
Maybe something to keep on the radar coming into that. It's gonna sneak up on us, well, spring's gonna hit and then.
Mhm.
The Best Damn Run was supposed to be the last run this year, but a little group of us said, no, we don't really want that to happen. So October 11th, we will now be having the Best Damn Run. Not DEC, but a group outside of this, but something to be on our radar as well.
And when's the first Best Damn Run?
It's not any longer.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. So the date's gonna change. There was some conflicts with PGE and
Got it.
I don't know all of the things, but it was going to absorb and just be no more.
Mm,
And now it's going to be more.
gotcha.
PGE is
Um,
closing the park for the summer to do repairs on
Yeah.
the dam.
The Timber Park. Dang.
At least the boat access is the whole park, or just the boat access closed?
I guess it depends on what they need for layout. I don't think they've outlined everything, but yeah.
Yeah, I heard the boat.
Yeah, and
was gonna be closed.
it's even more, it was actually even more than that. It was something to do with the fire or something, PCP training or something like that. There was more to it than just that. So getting it out of the August and September timeframe was their stance, I think. I don't know. I didn't go to those meetings, but what I do know is that it's going to take place October 11th.
Mhm.
And then last thing that I kind of have been mulling over and just wanted to kind of voice it, I guess. I feel like when the Main Street grant stuff came up, there wasn't a lot of information around it until we had to make a decision. And I'm just curious, or just have been curious, like, is there a way that we can know about applicants or study the applications prior to having to vote and send them to overview for the process that we're at, the stage that we're at now? I knew we had a conversation in November about it, and then December, the applications were deadlined. And then our January 1st meeting. So is there a time frame between if it comes up again next year, like who sees the applications between December 15th or whatever the deadline was and January 1st, January meeting?
I mean, they went out in your packet, but if you could request next year to get them out sooner in your packet. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when do we start the process of when marketing this grant? Hey, we have this and deadline is January.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I'd
when does
have
that start?
Evelyn set up the timeline this year, but I think she sent it out in November for your December meeting. Was that or for your
Mhm.
January meeting?
I don't remember.
Yeah, so we like to give people at least a month to
Mm.
develop the packet to, the proposal that they want to submit to us.
Mhm.
And I think we could give them, could give you guys more time to review it. I know that, I think Evelyn put like 2 weeks before your meeting so that she had time to format everything
Mhm.
for the deadline. So if we moved the whole timeline back a little bit and say, sent it out in October instead of November, then you guys could get them sooner.
And I'm wondering, just like marketing this grant in general, does it go out anywhere or like to businesses, like
Yeah,
in
so-
August, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have this for the city and business.
We don't send it out until so we get the notification that it's gonna be opened again.
Gotcha.
It is
Okay.
because funding is not necessarily guaranteed every year from the state. And so when we get the notification, then we start on the process.
Got it.
So I'm not sure when that falls. I don't know that
Mhm.
August would be soon enough.
Right.
or
You don't want to, we're not marketing it until we know you
Until
have
we
the
know that
funds.
we're gonna have, the
That
state has
makes
the funds.
sense.
But we do send it out. We have an email list that we got for all the businesses
Mhm.
downtown that we could find emails. In the past, we've actually physically mailed it to people too.
Mhm.
And then it goes out in the city's newsletter and on social media and the DECE newsletter
Gotcha.
and the reader board. So we try and get it out to everybody we can. And we do try to focus on the businesses that can actually apply for it, because the
Sure.
only businesses that can apply for it are the businesses in our downtown district.
Mhm. That makes sense. So it is a pretty tight timeline from once you get the okay and knowledge of, yes, we have this grant going on, fall, winterish.
Yeah, I would say fall.
It's
Yeah.
usually the.
Yeah, it depends on the legislature
Yeah.
and there's a
Mm.
lot of moving parts.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
And then when the applications start coming in, who overviews them up to the deadline?
So we don't, when the applications come in, they come into Evelyn and she just formats them, like scans them and formats them to include in your packet. We don't pre-review them except for to make sure that they're actually in the downtown district. Other than that, it just goes in your packet
For that next meeting.
for your next meeting. Yeah.
I asked specifically because like Sabre Latinos was handwritten, and I was
Yeah.
thinking, gosh, is there some kind of resource
Mm.
for us to help him understand that that's
Yeah.
not really,
he-
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
He came in literally the day that the application was due. So if he would have come in sooner, we would have been happy to help him, format the
Yeah.
application, or if he wanted to have it pre-reviewed, we would have been happy to do that. But he came in
The
the
day
day
Right.
of the application was due with nothing. And Evelyn said, you have to actually submit something. And that's
Right.
why he hand wrote that out.
And that was with the assumption that he clearly knew about this grant. He just maybe didn't know I don't know. I mean, you
Yeah.
get all the information.
Yeah.
You get what you need to do when you get the email of what it entails. Yeah. I get that, Heather. It's a
Yeah.
bummer.
Yeah, no, I've just been pondering. I'm like, how
Mhm.
can there be resources for businesses
Sure.
maybe that they don't know, or maybe have some barriers in language, or that kind of
Mhm.
thing. And I've been
Yeah.
like, it's been on my brain and I'm like, how can we, not to say that we can donate all of our time to it, but I'm like, I want to know the process. So I know
Yeah.
kind of what I'm doing.
So,
Yeah.
so something you guys can think about for next year is potentially translating it. I mean, we could hire somebody to translate it into Spanish. And then that might make
That's
it
a
a
good
little
idea.
more accessible for some of our community members. Also, like you guys can plan, I know you just approved your project plan, but maybe think about if you want to hold just general business classes, because that's something other Main Street organizations do, like
Mm.
business plan, how to create a business plan, or how to create a marketing plan. And those kind of information would be something that people could do.
Yeah, and the chamber is starting a brown bag and learn,
There you go.
so, yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, any agenda items for next month? Do you want to put 4th of July on?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, wouldn't
Yeah.
hurt to keep that at the forefront.
Awesome. 4th of July uncorked.
okay. Anything else? All right. Meeting is adjourned, 10:31 a.m. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.